Hi, Ishın Beyza. It's an absolute pleasure to meet you today. And we heard so much about your success story, which should really be mentioned everywhere. So as Cambridge International, we just wanted to come to you directly and have this interview so we can talk about a bit about your background and a bit about what you're doing at the moment, your future plans and what happens after university. So if I may, I'll just start with my first question.
Please.
So we now all know that you got into this prestigious, famous Cambridge University, and the engineering department is even more impressive. But before we start talking about your university placement, can you tell us a bit more about the story of why Cambridge, how you decided to go to Cambridge, whether you had any experience of being in Cambridge before? So where did this decision come from?
Of course, this story begins with our school camp in UK. We went to London, first of all, with our school, and we had a chance to visit Cambridge and, walk around the campus of the Cambridge. And it was like one of the most inspirational atmospheres I have ever been into. And I talked with my friend and I said that I will be studying here like 5 years later. And my dream became true, and I'm very happy about it.
How did your friends react to that when you said it and then they found out that you were actually?
She also said that I want to study at Cambridge too. And we took a photograph together. I learned that I got accepted from the Cambridge. She was hugged me by jumping and shouting at the corridors. She was very happy for me.
So if you go to the beginning of the Cambridge story, we know that this is not the first time we heard your name in Turkey, because approximately a few years ago, I think it was 2 years ago, you won the Top in the World award for IGCSE Turkish in Turkey. And so IGCSE Turkish is a qualification that's taken not only in Turkey, but in many other different countries. So in fact, it was a huge success, even though it was your mother tongue. How did you feel at that point when you got that award? And then what happened after that? So how did it motivate you towards reaching your goals?
I was shocked. I was surprised. I couldn't react actually. But as I saw many people around me are very happy about it, I started to feel much better and very happier. And actually it's very motivated me because, Cambridge is a very hard place to be accepted. So I actually struggled at the first place, maybe I can get rejected or something. But then I remembered that I gained the award from Cambridge, so it's not impossible for me to be accepted. Mm-hmm. And I decided to apply for the Cambridge, and I'm very happy again.
And of course, after the IGCSE journey, your AS A-level journey started. So how did it feel like moving up to AS and A-levels? Did you feel like there was a huge gap between IGCSEs and A-levels? So how did your A-level journey go?
In IGCSE journey, we work really hard, but also we really enjoyed the journey because we always discussed the topics, we always did experiments and studied together as a group. And when we passed to AS levels, we didn't struggle much, but A levels were much harder, And also it was pandemic, so we couldn't do much group work and experiments. But, again, we discussed through online video communications and we, learned deeply. Instead of memorizing, we always try to learn the logic behind it. So it's hard, but we managed to, overcome the obstacles.
That's another thing, now that you've mentioned the pandemic, because for some part of your AS A-level journey, you didn't go to classes, It was all online teaching, and it also had a huge impact. And I think the success you have at the moment is even bigger because it was achieved during the pandemic. I think you always need to keep it at the back of your mind somewhere. When you feel like you're struggling wherever you go. I think you managed it during the pandemic. It's a huge achievement. And so now that we've started talking about the A-levels, the next question I have in mind is about the interviews that you did at Cambridge, Because when people hear about the interviews, they only think that you go into a room, you sit across someone, they ask you questions, you answer, and that's the interview. But we know that Cambridge interviews don't go like that. So how did your Cambridge A-levels help you with the interviews, or are there any tips that you can give the other students who would go and do a Cambridge interview?
The interview was totally academical, so we only discussed the physics and mathematics problems. Of course, A-levels helped me because, you know, integration, differentiation, I used all of these in the interviews with the interviewer. You know, he asked me some questions and I tried to solve them with touchpad. And then he asked me something again. We talked with each other instead of he asking and me answering. We, you know, had a conversation between us. Also, in interview, they asked me about what I've done to that day. And I made a lot of projects before applying. And in the interview, the interviewer asked me about the projects, and they asked me actually questions about the project. You know, they integrated the projects and the academical information that I should have known, and they asked me that kind of question. So I think that's an important clue for the ones who want to go to Cambridge.
You've started planning for your trip to Cambridge, of course, and you have, even before you started this journey, and the minute that you learned that you got into Cambridge, you had some ideas about what the future would look like or what you would like to achieve. And in some of your, because you've given many interviews in Turkey at the moment for the people that do not know that. So you've been on live television, you've given interviews to newspapers and all the other media channels. And so you have a very specific future path in front of you that you can see, and you've started planning for that. Can you tell us a bit more about what you are expecting during your university studies and what you would like to achieve after you finish university?
I'm planning to have an amazing university life in Cambridge. I want to get involved into many projects, and I want to keep going on my scientific research after the university. And one of my biggest dreams is to make people's life better and solve people's problems by my engineering skills, of course. So I want to go to university to be able to contribute to humanity. And in the future, I want to be an entrepreneur, and I want to invent and produce something, maybe get prizes like Nobel Prizes that Cambridge is famous for. And I'm also going to Trinity College in Cambridge. And also Trinity College has the half of the prizes that the Nobel Prizes were won by the Cambridge. So I'm very excited about it, and I'm very happy to go.
Thank you very much for speaking to us. And so we'll definitely see you in Cambridge. Please come and visit our offices whenever you feel like you need a cup of tea or you want to chat to someone. We'll be very happy to host you in our offices and introduce you to people around us.
Thank you very much.
Great, thank you.